Good day, everyone. Today we are going to discuss graphical representations of data. These are the objectives for today's lesson. First, use graphical representations to simplify complex data, making patterns, trends, and outliers easily identifiable. Second, provide clear and actionable insights through visualizations to support informed and effective decisions. Third, present data in an engaging and accessible format that effectively conveys information to diverse audiences. What is graphical representation of data? Graphical representation of data, where numbers and facts become lively pictures and colorful diagrams. Instead of staring at boring lists of numbers, we use fun charts, full graphs, and interesting visuals to understand information better. In this exciting concept of data visualization, we'll learn about different kinds of graphs, charts, and pictures that help us see patterns and stories hidden in data. There is an entire branch in mathematics dedicated to dealing with collecting, analyzing, and interpreting. I'm presenting numerical data in visual form in such a way that it becomes easy to understand and the data becomes easy to compare as well. The branch is known as statistics. The branch is widely used and has a plethora of real life applications such as business analytics, demography, astrostatistics, and so on. In this topic, we have provided everything about the graphical representation of data, including its types, rules, advantages, and etc. Graphics representation is a way of representing any data in picturized form. It helps a reader to understand the large set of data very easily as it gives us various data patterns in visualized form. There are two ways of representing data, and that is the first one we have the tables, and the second one we have the pictorial representation through graphs. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. It's always better to represent data in a graphical format. Even in practical evidence and surveys, scientists have found that the restoration and understanding of any information is better when it is available in the form of visuals, as human beings process data better in visual form than any other form. Does it increase the ability 2 times or 3 times? The answer is it increases the power of understanding 60,000 times for a normal human being. The fact is amusing and true at the same time. Now let us proceed to the types of graphical representations. I have here the types of graphical representations. We have here the line graphs, bar graphs, histogram, line plot, stem and leaf plot, box and whisker plot, and pie chart. So comparison between different items is best shown with graphs. It becomes easier to compare the crux of the data about different items. Let's look at all the different types of graphical representations briefly. Let us start with line graph. Let us have a brief discussion of the different types of graphical representations. Let's have first the line graph. A line graph is used to show how the value of a particular variable changes with time. We plot this graph by connecting the points at different values of the variable. It can be useful for analyzing the trends in the data and predicting future further trends. This is an example of a line graph. These are the points that is being connected by a line, making this as a line graph. So these are the scales. We will move further or we will discuss further about line graph. But today this is just a brief And this is just one of example of a line graph. Now let's proceed to bar graphs. A bar graph is a type of graphical representation of the data in which bars of uniform width are drawn with equal spacing between them on one axis, that is x-axis usually, depicting the variable. The values of the variables are represented by the height of the bars. Now this is an example of a bar graph. So the value of the variable is shown on the height of each bar. So this is what a bar graph looks like. Now let's have histograms. This is similar to bar graphs, but it is based frequency of numerical values rather than their actual values. The data is organized into intervals and the bars represent the frequency of the values in that range. That is, it counts how many values of the data lie in that particular range. So, similar to bar graph, but the bar represent the frequency of the values in that range. Let us have the example of a histogram. This is what a histogram looks like. You have here the range from 5 to 25. The frequency that a number from 5 to 25, of course, is 6. From 25 to 45, the frequency is 8. From 45 to 65, the frequency is 3. And as well as 65 to 85, the frequency is also 3. So, the histogram based the bar, the height of the bar, from the frequency of a range of values. So, this is an example of a histogram. Now, let us proceed to line plot. It is a plot that displays data as points and check marks above a number line, showing the frequency of the point. And this is an example of a line plot. Here we have a number line and we have the check marks or the points in which they are lined above a numbers, showing the frequency of its occurrences. So this is the points. For number 1, the frequency is 2. For number 2, the frequency is 3. For number 3, the frequency is 1. And for number 4, we have 2 frequencies. And for number 5, there are no occurrences for this number. So this is an example of a line plot. Stem and leaf plot. This is a type of plot in which each value is split into a leaf. In most cases, it is the last digit, and stem, the other remaining digits. For example, the number 42 is split into leaf, which is the number 2, and the stem, which is the number 4. So that is stem and leaf plot. So let's have an example of a stem and leaf plot. This is what a stem and leaf plot looks like. We have here the stem, and these are the last digits. We have 3, 1, 4, 6, 3, 1. So these are the leaf, and these are the stem. Now let's proceed to box and whisker plot. These plots divide the data into 4 parts to show their summary. They are more concerned about the spread, average, and median of the data. So this is a graph that divides the data into 4 parts, meaning in one graph, the summary is also included. So this is what a box and whisker plot looks like. So we have here all the data in one graph: the summary, the mean, median, and the spread of the data. Now let's proceed to pie chart. It is a type of graph which represents the data in form of a circular graph. The circle is divided such that each portion represents a proportion of the whole. So this is what a pie chart looks like. As you can see, there is a whole circle that is being divided into sections. So this is what a pie chart looks like. Now let us have the frequency table. The table shows the number of pieces of data that falls within the given interval. So this is a very common one, and this is an example of a frequency table. So I have here the rulers of France, a frequency table about rulers of France. For this one here, for this column, we have here the reign or the years in which each ruler ruled France. So you have here 1 to 15, 16 to 30 years, 31 to 45 to 61 to 75 years. So this is the tally of how many rulers rule France for that specific year. So we have here 18, 11, 6, 4, and 1. So this is the very common one because you just need to count the number of specific data that needs to be tallied. So yeah, this is frequency table. We also have here frequency polygon. A frequency polygon is a graph that is constructed by joining the midpoint of the intervals. The height of the interval or the beam represents the frequency of the values that lie in that interval. This is an example of a frequency polygon. As you can see, it looks like a histogram, but the difference is that the midpoint of each bar is connected to the other midpoint of the different bar. Just like this one, all midpoint are being connected. So this is what a frequency polygon looks like. Now let's have the rules for graphical representation of data. The first one is the title. One has to make sure that a suitable title is given to the graph, which indicates the presentation subject. The second one is what we call the scale. It should be used efficiently to represent data in an accurate manner. The third one is the measurement unit. It is used to calculate the distance between the box or each point or each bar. The fourth one is the index. Differentiate appropriate colors, shades, and design in the graph for a better understanding of the information conveyed. The fifth one is the data sources. Include the source of information at the bottom of graph wherever necessary. It adds to the authenticity of the information. The sixth and last rule is that you need to keep it simple. Construct the graph in an easy to understand manner and keep it simple for the reader to understand. Looking at the graph, the information portrayed is easily understandable. Now let us proceed to the importance of graphical representation of data. The first one The graph is easiest to understand as the information portrayed is in facts and figures. Any information depicted in facts, figures, comparison grabs our attention due to which they are memorizable for the long term. The second one, it allows us to relate and compare data for different time periods. The third one is it is used in statistics to determine the mean, mode, and median of different data. The fourth one is that it saves a lot of time as it covers most of the information in facts and figures. This in turn compacts the information. Now it is a time for an activity. Let us have a quiz time for you so we can check if you really have understood the topic. So we have here write true if the statement is correct or false if it is not. So I have here number one, a pie chart is ideal for showing trends over time. Now this statement shows that this is false because a pie chart shows proportions, not trends over time. Number two, histograms represent actual values instead of frequency. Now, this statement also shows us that this is a false statement because histograms represent frequencies, not actual values. Now, let's have example number three. A line plot displays frequency using dots above a number line. Now, this statement shows that this is very true. Number four, the mean is the same as the median in every data set. This statement is also false because the mean and median are not always the same. Let's have item number five. A bar graph uses uniform width and equal spacing between bars. Now, this statement is true. Let's have number six. A box and whisker plot is primarily concerned with the spread of data. Now, this statement is also true. Now, let's have item number seven. Data sources should always be included to ensure authenticity. Now, this is a true statement because we should have a data that is very authentic so that we are sure that we are giving a true information. Now let's have item number eight. The index of a graph is optional and only for decorative purposes. Now this statement clearly states that this is false because the index is important for better understanding, not just decorative. Now let's have item number nine. Line graphs are used to compare categories rather than show changes over time. Now, this statement is also false because line graphs show changes over time, not category comparisons. Now, let's have item number 10. Graphical representation saves time by compacting large amounts of information. Now, this one here, this is a very true statement because it really saves the time to compare or to understand very large amount of information. And that is for today. We are going to continue our lesson on our next meeting.